Hail and well met friends, Andang here for another episode of Tales of the Free Folk. We have taken 1 month off, but we are here now with a revamped show. And so the biggest change is probably a lot of our behind the scenes stuff. We have a new way that we're doing combat, which should make it be faster and more story based, which should be good for you guys. It should, in theory, make the show be more interesting. You may notice down below that there are two people missing. Arithert and his girlfriend, Berlinial, are not going to be joining us, which we'll get to why in a bit. And so instead, I'm now going to be a player, and we are joined by Greymaster, who is going to be
Hello.
the GM. And I'm kind of surprising you by this, grade, because I forgot to mention this before the show, but why don't you give a little bit of, like, your experience as a GM and, like, kind of what you came from and talk about what you plan to do.
Experience as a GM.
Yeah, quick version.
Okay. It's a very quick version. This is my first time actually GMing anything. I'm pretty sure we mentioned that. I don't know why you're spotlighting this all of a sudden. I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and I've sort of behind the scenes when I first approached Lotro players on their poll for doing a Lotro players Lord of the Rings roleplay show. I've been in the middle of trying to design my own game, my own rule set, for about half a year now, and so this is sort of a proving ground for ideas. Which is why I keep changing things to experiment with all the time. Sorry about that.
We should also point out that Greymaster is the author of the fabulous entries on Tales of the Free Folk on
Not only that, but he has been writing all the material for me to be GMing this whole time. So it is great to have the actual author of the material be finally hosting the show. So that should be good.
I would also like to point out, for the benefit of the chat, that I was rocking this hat on my streams before Aeritherd was, back when he was still rocking the hair.
That is very true.
You're a trendsetter. That's it.
But
so anyway, let's go ahead and get into things, and I'm going to go ahead and be reading the prologue. So let's go ahead and go right into that. Previously on Tales of the Free Folk. In search of a ranger headed north, our fellowship had arrived in Trestlebridge as orcs prepared to besiege the town. Joining with the guard, the siege was broken, and the orc raiders were routed. As the town rebuilds, the dwarves of Orcathar have arrived to bolster the town, led by the merchant, Harathi Moonfist. The town has celebrated their survival, thanks to our fellowship, and to a mysterious duo who has claimed to have routed the encampment of orcs in the north. Arithert has decided to remain in town with Relinial, the lore master. Teriadwin is also staying in Trestlebridge, and has been sent by the mayor, Harold Boskins, to summon the remaining heroes, Carvet Logsplitter, Pineleaf Needles, and May the Elf Minstrel. So let's get things going.
Alright, so before we do that scene, very quickly, I want to sort of catch up with our remaining players. It's been about a month since we've done this show, and it's been about 2 days since the Battle of Trestlebridge, in-game time. So, just sort of refreshing everyone's memories. Battle of Trestlebridge was fought during the night, and in the early morning is when an orc chieftain with his troll bodyguards finally made the last attempt to break the defenses of the town. But thanks to a little bit of sacrifice on the part of our heroes, they were successfully defeated. So the rest of that day was basically resting, recuperating from pulling that all-nighter. And there was a funeral during which Aritherd made a very timely re-entrance to the town. The next day is when the dwarves of Othrikar arrived. If you recall, one of the things which Carve did during the battle was escorting the merchant out to go get some help. As it turns out, they were not needed, and so they've shown up a bit late. By the time, as in the intro, Terry Adwin is coming to collect the players, this is about like after 2 full days after the battle. So Carve, May, and Pineleaf, what have you been doing during those 2 days? Or what would you like your characters to have done?
During those 2 days. I would probably have been scouting most of the days to make sure that there was nothing else afoot during the time.
Okay.
I've been helping. I've been helping tend to the wounded, and when I'm not doing that, I'm kind of like sitting on a stone staring out into space because the Battle of Trestle Bridge was quite a revelation to me as an elf, a very sheltered elf. So I'm sort of splitting my time between being useful and then sort of trying to make a sense of what I have just been through.
Okay. And Carve?
I have been making sure that I wasn't muted, but I'm not. That's good. So I'm looking at the icon going, it's not right. Okay. Carve has been walking around town making sure that none of the structures were damaged to the point of easy access for a new attack, basically checking the gates and whatnot, but also making sure that his gear has been repaired in top condition. He's been starting to put together another survival kit because he's pretty sure that at some point they're going to have to leave again. So he's making sure that he gets provisions together for another trek into the wilderness because that's kind of what he does.
All right. So I guess we'll circle back. And so May, what have you been sort of mulling over? You said the battle was a revelation. How so?
Well, I'm from the Grey Havens. Grey Havens is not a place. It's almost not really of Middle Earth. It's not. It's an elvish outpost. There are no other races there. I mean, maybe an occasional dwarf selling something, but I was never involved in any of that. You know, I never really came face to face with any other races. The only way I know the races is through the lore I've been taught, and I'm beginning to understand that maybe that lore I've been taught was a little elf-centric, in the sense of, you know, maybe it wasn't exactly accurate. And I'm not really sure. It's like it's kind of unsettling. It's not that I mean, I know men die. I'm clear, you know, but again, I think it's also kind of a and you know, I've also been in the Grey Havens at a time when there hasn't really been any wars on in terms of the Grey Havens and Círdan and his people being really super involved in it. So death is more like an abstract to me, even though I know it happens both to elves and others. This is really the first time I've seen it in a large, you know, in a large venue, and it's not that I'm necessarily. It's not like PTSD, but it's a little bit of like rocking back on my heels and thinking about, gee, you know, how much do I really know about Middle Earth? How much do I really know about the other races? I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily going too deep with it. I mean, I'm not delving into like, oh, gee, you know, maybe, you know, what I was taught was, you know, I'm not getting like super heavy about it, but I'm, you know, I'm just sort of thoughtful about, you know, I know I'm here, I know I have a significant role to play, and I'm just kind of trying to make sense of maybe what I've just been through, and does this fit with, you know, what I'm here for and what I want to be doing here and whatnot. So it's that kind of stuff. But the truth is, you know, I mean, I also, I don't sleep a whole lot, so I have a lot of time to think that way, but I also am not doing a lot of self, you know, it's not like I'm just focused on myself all the time. I mean, I am going and helping Ray and others to help heal folk and you know, and entertain the children and, you know, just kind of help out as I can to keep spirits up and whatnot. So anyway, so that's, you know, I'm just kind of like thoughtful about it. I don't know that I've come to any, it's only been 2 days, so I haven't really come to any conclusions, but I'm just sort of sorting through all the information.
So I think during one afternoon, probably like maybe even the first day, definitely by the second day, while you're just making rounds, checking on some of the patients that you've been tending, Leigh Putnam, one of the people at Trestlebridge, she was a grocer. She sort of like knocks on the door, asks, "Excuse me, may I speak with you?"
Certainly. Certainly.
Hi. I don't know if you remember me. We were meeting during a very intense situation during the battle, but you helped me put those children back to bed.
Oh, certainly. Yes, I remember.
Right.
Yes.
The children love you. I noticed you've been telling them stories during these past few days, and it's really been keeping their spirits up because, they watching their town get attacked by a bunch of monsters at their age, that can be very frightening.
Oh, I know it can be. Yes, and it was my pleasure to do that. That was um, time well spent for myself as well.
Well, I just wanted to let you know the children really appreciate it, and they made this gift, and she gives you it's like a laurel wreath, but it's made of just like twigs and stuff fallen from fallen branches around town.
That is lovely. That is lovely. Tell the children how much I appreciate it, and I'll wear it every chance I get.
Okay, I will do that. I see you're busy, so I'll let you get back to looking after our men.
Give the children my best regards.
I will, and I look forward to their next story time.
Oh, good.
Story time with Maven. Story
Next time I'll tell them about a
Rabbit
dragon. I'll tell them a dragon story.
time with Maven.
Maybe just next week for Winterstock, we'll just have our spin-off show, Story Time with Me. Okay,
Oh,
so Leigh leaves the hospital. May continues with her work. Pineleaf, you say you've been scouting. Have you been looking in a particular direction, looking for particular signs? And also, are you doing this alone, or are you tapping one of the other players to come with you, or any of the guards from town?
Most likely some of the other guards from town, since they're the ones who have the most at stake if something goes wrong. So,
Okay.
I would probably want to go both sides of town, and also, of course, checking down at the river around the bridge, also making sure that no one's infiltrating or anything like that. But I
Okay.
would want to do both sides of the river because the most likely attacks will be coming from the north, but I want to make sure that no one sneaks south because I come from the south.
Right.
So I want to make sure that my homeland is also safe.
So hold on, let me pull up my list of names. And okay, so the guards are probably the same ones that fought with you during the battle. So their names are Toby and Camden, and they're they've probably warmed up by now to the fact that you're a hobbit and not a small human girl. uh, so Pineleaf is your name.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about this place you come from, Staddle? I hear it's in the south.
Yeah, it's next to Bree. Do you know about Bree?
Ah, yes, I know of Bree, and I believe Camden here has family in Bree. Yes, that's true. Indeed, I do.
Yes. Well, Bree is the chief village amongst four, and that next to Bree has three satellite villages next to it: Archet, Staddle, and Combe.
Archet. I believe I heard something about Archet. The town crier was saying something, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
Yes, there was something about a fire there that some brigands were attacking it.
Oh dear, brigands. At least they
Yes.
don't have to worry about orcs.
Yes, there is. Well, though we did have some trouble with goblins patrolling the area near Staddle.
I see. And is that what you would be on guard mostly with the Staddle Watch?
Yeah, mostly I was working with the Staddle Watch, making sure that everything is all right, that there's nothing untoward coming around the swamps or anything like that. It was mainly keeping out spiders and other things like that. But more recently, we had the brigands and then the goblins even more recently.
Oh, spiders. Thank the heavens that there weren't spiders besieging our town.
Yeah, they can get nasty sometimes.
Okay, so by now you've probably finished your patrol of like the top side by the canyon, and you've made your way. You're just doing the routine patrol of the gorge beneath the bridge. And Toby probably points out, he says, "Look, that rock looks like it's been disturbed recently. Didn't the mayor say we should turn over every stone?" Camden says, "If only you kept your blades as sharp as your wit. Come on, let's keep moving."
All right. And is there now was this literally a stone that nothing could be?
It's probably like a foot in diameter, and it was by sort of like the trickling water. And would you like to roll plus wits to see if you notice anything more about it?
All right. Now let's.
Like with a casual glance, you looking at it, it's just an ordinary rock that seems to have been disturbed recently.
Okay. Well, I'll just make
It's definitely not big enough for anything to be hiding under.
Okay. How do we do a roll there? Oh, well, that's not going to give me special. Well, actually, what did that roll? What kind of die roll was that?
Okay, so for anyone who's following along at home and for our players, the rolls are now all 2d6 instead of some being 2d6 and some being d20.
Oh, okay.
And that was a choice just made so that we have like a distribution. So for those
so that's
following
not
at
an
home,
average roll then.
right? Yeah, that's not a bad roll.
A little bit higher than average.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you can see that there's a little bit of a deeper space underneath the rock.
Yeah.
Again, like it's not large enough for anything to hide, but it looks like something may have been hidden there. If you want to go investigate.
Let me investigate it just for kicks.
Okay. Camden makes some sort of remark to Toby about, "Ha! I told you that was an interesting rock." So if you like move the rock and look into the hole, it's just like a foot deep, kind of like a spherical shape,
All
and
right.
there's just a note at the bottom.
A note.
Yes, like a piece of parchment with writing on it. If you read it, it just reads, "Dear Kemp, I'm sorry for having to take this, but I need to go find out if there's any help for the town. The orcs are surrounding us and closing in, and we need all the help I can get. The coppers that you've squirreled away will go a long way towards making sure that help will come towards the town, and I promise to pay you back if I ever return. Signed, Nellie."
All right. Do I know who Nellie is?
Do you know who Nellie is? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Do we?
If
Well, that's
anybody was paying attention to the mayor talking last week, it was
That's right. It was.
Okay.
Did he mention Nellie?
Yeah, I did.
yeah,
Well,
he did.
he
In passing.
It was in passing, yeah.
But I actually caught it when I was watching the.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't know if Nellie was, because I thought I had made a joke about Nellie way at the beginning or something like that, but I didn't know if I actually heard anything on that matter.
Right.
You probably
so,
still wouldn't know who they are.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So therefore, it looks like then it's a private exchange, because it was addressed to the mayor. I think you said, right?
It's addressed to someone called Kemp.
Kemp.
Now, Kemp, I believe you know.
I'm gonna say he was
Kemp was the
he
guy
was
that you
chap
blew off
in
in
the, in the bar.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
that guy.
Oh, geez.
I think I will return the note to where it is and put the rock back.
Okay. Camden asks you, what was on the paper?
Looked like a private message.
Somebody's got an IOU to look forward to.
Yes.
Best to leave the note there, I suppose. Whoever it's
Yeah.
meant for will want to come and find it.
Probably.
I don't know, Camden. Aren't you the least bit curious? Maybe we should read this for ourselves. Okay. No. I wanted to see if Pineleaf was going to interject.
No, I decided it was best not to.
Okay. So you continue your patrol,
All right.
continue the exchange of small talk, and nothing happens. It doesn't look like there's any sign of impending doom from orcs.
Okay.
So moving on to Carve now. You've been going around looking at the structural damage in town. Is this like you mentioned you want to see if there are any entry points for enemies? So are you looking mostly at like the outer barricades, or
Yes.
are you looking for like secret passageways and buildings? What sort
No,
of?
I'm checking the existing defenses, making sure that there were some fire pod action from some of the orcs, making sure that nothing's too damaged so that there's an easy weak point, that kind of thing.
Okay, and like there's some structural damage, but people are already working on them. Actually, like all three of you notice, just sort of the town's kind of transformed when you had arrived. Like there weren't people were going about their business because they had to, but no one really wanted to stay out longer than they really needed to. So the market is a lot busier now. There's more people visiting the different vendors. There are more vendors out. There are even people just sort of like idling around, walking down paths, talking with each other, children playing in the little gardens, and like it looks a lot more normal by Breland standards. So they've also, and maybe you might have some input in their further fortification decisions, but when the dwarves of Athrikar came, they immediately started helping replacing some of the wooden walls with stone-crafted ones, and they're helping to reinforce the bridge, and they've constructed a sort of wooden palisade around the northern end of the bridge so that people can't just walk in.
Fantastic.
Okay, so I think also during this time, maybe like day 2 or something, you feel like you're walking through town, you feel a clasp on your shoulder. It says, "Well, if it isn't my old friend Carvet Log Splitter."
Who?
And so you turn around, and it's Frothy
That's a
Moonfist,
great noise.
whom you helped to get safely out of Trestle Bridge.
Moonfist, I see that you made it with the beards on your hair intact.
Yes, and it is good to see that the beards on your hair have remained intact as well.
This is
No
good.
nasty orc filth is going to remove those.
You would be surprised. There was a couple hairy moments there with fire. And several ugly trolls, even more so than usual.
Yes, I was able to bring more of the Moonfist clan and the rest of our Silver Miners Guild. We didn't know what state we'd find the town in, but it is a great relief to see that it is still standing. No doubt
Yes.
in no small part to your legendary valor.
Well, I wouldn't know if legendary valor is what I would consider my small part of the battle, but I do know that there were several losses, and I will say that while Aerthert went down fighting, I was able to deal the savage finish blow to that horrid orc commander.
A most fascinating tale indeed. Perhaps in future we should not call you Log Splitter, but Trollbane.
As you wish. However, I must admit there is a particular reason why I like the term log splitter.
Is there a story behind that name? I always assumed it was just your family's clan name.
Well, I, like many dwarves, hold affinity for things of Middle-earth very closely. I enjoy the feel of earth. I enjoy the feel of stone, but there is something about the renewable life that comes from wood that has always called to me.
I see. So you would chop down the trees then?
Well, of course. That's why you split the logs. But once you cut it down, you find the seeds, you plant another one, you roast it over an open fire, you have some trail mix as you're walking along to your next destination. It's all part of this circle of Arda. And occasionally you find a small lynx cub and you hold it aloft and you sing a song and then you skip along. Not that I would ever skip, mind you, that's an elven thing. But sometimes the moment strikes in the deep woods. We shall not talk of it now. How fares it with you, Unturned?
See, you may have a point in there, though I personally have never felt comfortable among the trees. But I will take your word for it, friend. Listen, I happened to see you in the walking about town, and I wanted to give you this token. And he gives you like a small silver. It's like a coin, but it's not a silver coin. On one side, it has like a clenched fist imprinted, and on the other side is like the what's it called? The Futhark rune letter for the letter O.
Oh.
And he says, "This is the token of the Moonfist clan of Othrikar. We are by no means one of the larger or well-known clans, but we have been known to have our name thrown about in some small trade circles. If ever you find yourself in a dwarven colony, you just show them that token, and they will treat you well. They will know that you are my friend."
Thank you very much, Moonfist. I shall treasure this as a new alliance in this great big place we call Middle-earth.
Dark times are indeed upon us, my friend, and we need all the friends we can have. Are you looking to continue your merchant business in Trestlebridge?
For now, I do believe that this motley crew that I have found myself with has got some grander plans that we shall be dealing with, and unfortunately I do believe that I am somehow inextricably tied into them.
Understandable. I would not ask you to break the bonds of loyalty with your friends.
Loyalty's a big word, but I do smell, dare I even say, destiny.
I see. Destiny is a very complicated subject that I don't think we have the time in a 2-hour roleplay session to discuss.
You've made a very good point. Destiny points to further things. We shall not deal with that at this moment. I shall let you know, though, this has been a good conversation.
Well, as much as I would, maybe I will see you in the tavern later, and we can share an ale. But however, I am here on business from our leader Dory. You've certainly heard of Dory, the companion of Thorin Oakenshield.
The Dory?
The Dory. He's not here, unfortunately, but he is at Othrikar, and he has sent me to look into reopening the trade lines with Trestlebridge. So
I would like to be a part of that discussion. Absolutely.
Oh,
we'll definitely have that ale later.
Have you met the mayor of Trestlebridge by any chance?
I have. Yes, we did.
Well, perhaps you can introduce me to him.
I would be happy to.
Okay. So maybe at this point, I did not expect we would get to this point, but I think at this point is maybe when Terry Adwin, the character Terry Adwin, shows up. You've been
Oh, right, me. Not drinking.
not drinking. Not Sarissa, Terry Adwin.
Not Sarissa, Terry Adwin.
Oh, Terry's still here? Okay, my bad.
Yeah, Terry's still here.
Right.
Terry's
So
still here for now.
Terry, you've
I
been
gotta say goodbye.
right. So you've been sent by the mayor to the mayor knows that Aeritherd is planning on remaining in Trestlebridge with Relinial, and so he's asked you to sort of go find the other newcomers to town who helped protect the town. He'd like to speak with them. So
Okay, so I go around everybody else.
okay. So I guess you have Pineleaf and May in tow. And now you've come upon
Not literally.
not literally.
Not
Not
literally. Not
TME.
let's go with that hobbit again.
Yeah, it's gonna scare a pine leaf.
Yeah,
Not the
no.
body bag.
Keeping a respectable distance between myself and Pineleaf.
So Carve, while you're about to go introduce Hrothi to the mayor, Terry Adwin, May, and Pineleaf come walking up the streets and take it away.
Oh,
Are you just like giving each other like the up nod in greeting?
Yeah, yeah. Stop.
Okay.
Sup, Terry?
So, Carvette, the mayor asked me to gather everybody to go speak with him before you guys head out, because I guess you guys are going to be heading out here shortly.
I hope he's not holding my suggestion about giving us a reward against me. Did you get any sense that he was? Is he like? Are we okay?
Yeah, as far as I can
Okay.
tell, we're okay.
Okay, cool.
You know, my fantastic reading of people skills.
He didn't throw me out of my ear. That meant something.
Rothy, like, elbows Carve and, like, whispers in his ear, but you can all still hear it. Is that a halfling?
Oh my.
Which one are you referring to again?
That is a good joke, Carvette. Please excuse me.
The
But
she-elf
you-
or the halfling?
You are a halfling, yes? He's clearly addressing Pineleaf.
Oh yeah. Well, we call ourselves hobbits.
Hobbits. That is a strange word. Are you by any chance related to the Hobbit?
You mean Bilbo Baggins?
I believe so. I'm not good with names, to be
I-
honest.
Heard rumors of him from the distance from the Shire. We don't hear too much what's going on, but the name Bilbo Baggins has even drifted up to that area because he is so infamous. But I haven't I've never met him, and I don't believe there's any relation because the people up in Stanley are a bit different from those in Hobbiton.
I see. Please excuse my ignorance. I've just never met one in person before. We've only had the one story. Are these your friends, Carvet? The ones you were speaking of?
This would be the party that I've been traveling with, yes.
I see. Well, it looks like you have urgent business to attend to, so perhaps we shall meet up later.
Indeed. I look forward to that ale.
Goodbye, little man.
And, and a good evening to you, elf.
Ooh,
I don't think he likes me.
Like that?
Farewell,
Remember,
halfling.
Ralphie, rejoice not when an elf falls down, but don't rush to pick him up either.
You said it, brother. And he strolls off down the path.
That was just a joke, right, Carve? That was just a joke. You guys were just joking, right?
Absolutely, May.
All right.
He may be joking.
So is this like the first time in the 2 days that you've sort of all met together again?
I think so, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yes, just it has been.
We've kind of been on our own
Anything
schedules.
Do you have
I
anything
think
to
we
say
kind
to
of
each other?
I think we kind of had enough of each other there after the battle. We
Yeah.
needed a break. So, what's everybody been doing?
Well, I gave up drinking.
No.
Yeah,
Seriously.
seriously.
What have you been doing to fill the time?
Well, I've been doing a lot of thinking, which takes a lot of time.
Sober thought, in
Sorry.
other words. You've
I'm
Had some
thinking I'm
sober
going to stay
thought.
here with Aerthert and Ray.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow. So we lose 2 of our company.
But we should really go see what the mayor
Okay.
what the mayor wants.
Well, it sounds like you may turn into the mayor's assistant. Play your cards right. You could have
I don't know.
you could have a
Politics.
career in politics.
Yeah, not sure I'm cut out for politics. We'll see.
All right. Well, I guess
We shall
on to the.
see. Off to see the mayor, the wonderful mayor of Chesterbridge.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
of the wonderful things he does.
So the mayor's house, unlike the Bree Town Hall, from the outside it looks like any other sort of like small 2-story house in Trestlebridge. I guess as you knock on, I assume you're knocking on the door to go in.
Yes,
Okay.
respectfully.
So there's a voice. One moment, please. And then you hear sort of like shuffling footsteps. And then finally, like the door opens, and it's the mayor, and he's like fiddling with like his neck scarf, and he's trying to look official and presentable. It's you. You got my summons. Very good. Thank you, Terry Adwin.
You're welcome.
If you would like to stay around, I suppose you can be trusted to hear what I have to say to them. Have you seen Erithert around lately?
I saw him.
I
only
believe he
to-
was consulting with Raylenial the last time I left him. I can go get him if you want.
No need to
He's
get
been
him
busy.
just yet.
How do you believe he's had his nose stuck in a book for a while?
I just want to make sure he's doing okay after that incident with the Brig guard at the gate. Which
I've only seen
none of us
Incident
talking
with
about.
the Brigard? What might you be saying? I thought we were dealing with Tresselberg guards around here.
Well, as I understand it, you ran into some trouble in Bree. Erithert told me the whole story, so don't try to deny it. In any case, because of your services to this town, and I vouched for you, the Bree Guard is no longer pursuing you as fugitives. Evidently, they have larger problems to worry about.
Oh,
What are
well,
these
that's
problems?
good news.
The brigands have been getting uncomfortably close to their town in recent days.
Oh my.
Brigands.
I'm not entirely sure what brigands you have down south.
Well,
There
the
aren't
last I
many-
heard, we had trouble with the Black Wolves.
Ruffians and ne'er-do-wells, the lot of them.
Yeah, that.
I wouldn't know. Up here, we have the people of Trestlebridge, and there aren't very many others who would venture this far north. Too close to Dead Man's Dyke for most travelers. But clearly that didn't put you off.
What is Dead Man's Dyke?
Oh, there are stories of a battle long ago up north for the town. There are ruins of an old fortress there where a king used to rule. And, Raylenial the Lore Master would probably know more about this than I do. But there was a battle, a war, the kingdom fell, and now it is said that the dead walk the fields.
Place of great evil it is.
Now,
I've given it a wide berth.
personally, I don't know how true these stories are, but certainly we can confirm that people who have went to go look for them have not returned. But we haven't had a loss in almost a year.
That sounds serious.
Almost a year. That's
Yeah.
fantastically scary.
But people haven't been going there probably because of all the orcs.
Yes, and that leads me to what I wanted to talk to you about. Please, come in. How rude of me to leave you at the door. So as you come in, like the entire sort of bottom floor is just, there are stacks of paper on chairs, on the floor, on tables. There's like a large dining room table at one end of the room that's just covered with like maps and more papers. You can't see at a glimpse what they are. But there are two sort of, they're two people you've never seen before. They don't look like they're from Trestlebridge. They look like they've been on the road for a while, and they're standing in a back corner.
Yeah, and at this point, Terry has left.
Okay, so
Bye, Terry.
so long, Terry. I trust we will meet again soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you
Trying
mayor.
to play two characters, sorry. It's not going to happen.
Dude.
And so Terry Adwin walked away from the show forever. But so the mayor sort of waves you into that large room with the table. And as you come closer, you can see that the maps on the table, you recognize there's like the Greenway going north to south, and there's the Kirith Nur Canyon going west to east, and you see Trestlebridge is sort of outlined in thick markers. And then there are just circles north of the town and south of the town. And if you if you're sort of looking at the map while people are talking, you can see that those are the locations where the orc camps were during the Battle of Trestle Bridge. So this was clearly like the command room of the mayor's house. But the mayor says to you, these are, well, perhaps they should introduce themselves. They were also taking part in the Battle of Trestle Bridge.
Right. So my name is Sarissa. I am an orphan from the Lowlands. Don't really remember my parents, but supposedly they were killed by orcs. I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandfather was a traveling performer in his day. So I have decided to take to the road and learn music and the minstrel type trade. And along the way, I ran across this guy over here.
Yeah, and I am Andang. I am a champion who thinks he's stealthy. Because I've met the Rangers, and I've totally done stuff with them, and been trained by them. And I'm not an actual Ranger, but I do have their full garb for helping them out. So I actually am dressed in like the dark undertones of Ranger garb. And
The
I
mayor
know
whispers,
Sarissa.
it seems to be tradition among the Rangers to give away their clothes in exchange for tasks performed.
Yes, I've heard of that.
I have
that
heard
they give
of
away
this thing
pants.
with the Rangers.
They're very
It
big on
usually
giving
involves
away
some sort of menial task, less than heroic. The tasks that, as
Even
I
the sons of
recall,
Elrond have been known to give away their pants.
those elves.
But I'm totally a champion, guys. Totally a
Boy.
champion.
Okay.
But no, I know Sarissa and have been questing with her for some time, just trying to help each other out, and we go on stealth missions together to try to protect Middle Earth.
Hmm.
I don't know. Sounds like a champion and a minstrel are a rather noisy combination.
Yeah, really.
I can't imagine why you would do anything stealthy, running around, singing and dancing and rattling swords. Doesn't sound
And
stealthy.
yelling at things.
It's always been my opinion that minstrels don't just tell tales; they have to gather information too. So I'm more, my skills tend to lie more along the finding things out, and
Oh, you're a scout then.
So you pick things up, is that what you're saying?
I do.
have heard
I pick
tales.
things up.
You pick things up, okay.
But I'm a minstrel at heart. I promise.
I have heard tale of such tale spinners who are minstrels by
By
sight,
day. Yes.
but by night wear a different outfit.
What? That's so interesting. How do they do that? I've never heard of minstrels like that. I want to do that. Can I have a different outfit at night?
I can teach you.
Oh, that sounds great.
All about accessorizing.
Oh, wonderful. That's great.
Carvet shakes his head.
I mean, that makes sense. If I recall correctly, my parents always told me there was a difference between day formal wear and night formal wear.
And I just hold my hand up, and I'm like, I can vouch for Sarissa. She knows how to do this.
Wow, that's great. I would love to have more than one outfit. That would be great. We should get together and talk for sure. We can jam on our lutes.
I was rather
well,
hoping
I don't play a
you
lute.
would
I play a
hit it
flute.
off.
You can
Oh,
maybe
even
teach
better.
me how to
can
play
do
the lute,
duets.
but
There's
yeah.
a method for the lute, yes.
Okay.
I was rather hoping you would hit it off. See, Andang and Sarissa here talk about having cleared out the orc encampment to the north, the smaller one during the battle.
It was really big, though.
seeing a shadowy figure in the distance wreaking havoc amongst.
Ah,
As
so
we
that
were
must be who
picking-
we saw.
As we picked through the remains of the troll and orc commanders, I do recall seeing some shadowy figures in the distance.
Right.
Setting
Right.
That
on
was
like the
us
orc
being
camp.
sneaky.
That was you
Sneaky,
being
yes.
sneaky. Okay.
Sneaky setting 40-foot high bonfires of orc and goods.
That's called placing a distraction.
Saboteur. I see.
I can tell that my friend Carve is a little wary of this duo.
Skeptical Carve is skeptical.
But that's a dwarf. I'm learning something about dwarves here.
They don't believe anything?
Cautious, very cautious. Actually, as I recall, he was that way when he first met me.
Cautious in the same sentence. I don't know. Based on things I've heard about dwarves.
Well, I don't know. He was pretty cautious about me when he met me. I just thought that was because I was an elf.
When it comes right down to it, you really haven't been able to see a whole lot of my personality because it's been deafened by Senior Rush into Battle and Madame Drugstance. Now that they've found other pursuits, we shall see.
We may get to
more of Carvette.
Before I apologize. You have my sympathies.
Oh, they were tough.
It made for some interesting stories. I shall say that.
I mean, I have to say, Arthur had a great battle flourish, but two shields. I've never seen a man fight, or an elf for that matter, fight with just two shields.
I do
That's
recall.
because everybody else is too sane to do it.
Right. I
do recall seeing some child's artwork that depicted multi-shield combat. I think it was some sort of a paper-bound book, if I recall correctly.
I think I know what you're talking about.
But...
Yes. It was in one of the smaller bookshops in Bree, dealing with periodical releases.
Captain Merrick.
Captain Merrick, yes.
Okay. Okay.
That's a popular children's picture book in Trestlebridge.
Yes.
Okay.
Must be imported from Bree then.
Perhaps. Unfortunately, our trade routes have been cut for quite some time, but I'm hoping to reestablish those.
I think I might know, actually. Is it part of a series? I think it's called The Vengeance? Something like that.
The Vengeance of the Heroes?
No, it's The Vengeance. It's a group of the Venges? I don't remember.
Vengeance?
Anyway.
Yes, anyway. Whatever.
But enough of such childish manners. The reason why I've called you here is because first of all, I'm glad to see that you verified their story for me. He turns to Andang and Sarissa. You must forgive me, but of course I must have been initially suspicious when you came claiming to have defended the town when I've never seen you before. Then he goes back to addressing the group in general.
Yes, that does seem to be a problem of boasting about stealth missions, isn't it?
We'd say that we're used to that. We just say we're used to this kind of criticism.
Yeah, we're used to it.
But have you done anything special?
Oh, man.
I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
Indeed.
That sounds pretty good right now.
As long as you don't go digging any holes, we're fine. So what can we do for you, Mayor?
The mayor has like a really baffled expression on his face and just what's going on. This isn't anything that he expected this meeting would go. Anyway, Andang and Sarissa came in yesterday afternoon with these news, and I've been keeping them here, trying to learn more about that encampment. But what has me concerned is that even while they have been here, we've noticed more fires starting around where that encampment is. And Severin, the interim captain of our guard, he says he cannot spare the men that he currently has able. Right now they're, I believe, working on reinforcements and seeing to their brethren who are injured. And naturally, I have no right to really ask anything more of you than what you've already done, but my duty requires that I ask, could you, by chance, go investigate what is going on to the north?
Sure.
By more fires, are you talking it appears to be a resurgence of orcs campfires? Are we talking it looks like natural wildfires are cropping up?
They seem to be campfires.
So the area is being
if you go look now,
reoccupied by
they're not.
something else.
If you go look now, there's no smoke, but there was smoke this morning.
Well, there would be smoke. They were burnt down a couple days ago.
Boy, he's a tough audience, this guy.
We will investigate.
Okay.
We will? Okay. Guess we will.
Do you have another explanation for why there is still smoke after 2 days?
Yeah, those
Goblin
fires.
fire.
Yeah, those fires weren't that big though. They shouldn't still be smoking.
They were stealthy fires.
Not that
Special
smoking.
fires.
The orcs came, attacked the town with goblin fire pots. Goblin fire pots have been known to smolder in ash for days. That fire pot material had to come from somewhere. But I do believe, for the sake of the good of the town, it is worth investigating.
If
If
it's
they're
still
goblins,
smoldering enough that the smoke can be seen from this far away, then there's something going on that we need to go take a look at.
Definitely.
And if there are goblins
nothing else-
involved, we very definitely must look at it.
Yeah, if nothing else, we can try making sure that none of those fire pots are still on fire.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even if there's nothing up there, I think it's a good idea for us to go check.
Thank you. It's probably nothing, but as you yourself said, we need to go investigate.
The
It would
last thing
not
we need to do
do-
now is become complacent, because even though we've killed as many dwarves as many orcs as, excuse me, I'm sorry.
That was so surprising, I couldn't speak for a moment.
Even though we killed as many orcs as we did, that there are surely more coming or more around the area. So it'd be not wise of us to think we had taken care of every one of them.
There's always another orc.
That's right.
Well, thank you, as usual. You've been a great help to this town, and you still are.
It's our pleasure, sir.
So it is now probably around what we would call like 7 p.m. During the day. Are you going to head out immediately, or are you going to try to find a place to stay around town?
Well, I think I don't know. What do you guys
Like-
think?
I think we need to at least
means
get out
we're
of
getting
town.
tired.
We've been in this town for a few days.
I'm perfectly comfortable moving around in the darkness.
We are trying to decide whether or not we want to go scout an unknown force in the middle of the night,
That sounds.
using
not
only
the
their
middle of the
campfires to
The
guide
evening.
us.
With two people we've only just met.
With two people we've only just met.
Well, you know what? Anding and I can go take a look if you guys don't trust us, and we'll report back to you.
Hold on a second. We don't have to go off too quickly here. I mean, we can wait for them to join us.
You're not afraid of the goblins, are you?
Maybe we should have a meal
So-
together first. That might help.
Hippie.
I just say it'll be a lot easier to scout if we can see.
What kind of crazy talk is that, Piney?
Just saying.
So what's it going to be?
That's just silly.
Are we
I vote.
splitting the group?
I vote. We set off first thing at first light.
Okay. Yeah,
I vote for
think
the
I'm-
first light.
All right. So
I want to go say goodbye to the children, make sure they're okay. I have a few people I want to make sure that they're doing all right in the recovery area.
okay. So are you going to share that meal first, or are you splitting up? Are you planning on finding a place together to spend the night, or like what's your game plan for what the five of you are going to be doing?
Well, we haven't really seen each other. I mean, even the three of us haven't really seen each other. So we should probably all find some place to bed down all together as a group instead of, it would waste a lot of time in the morning to gather everybody together.
Well, it seems to be there's an alehouse in town within and places to sleep. And
So we'll just all
I did
go there, have dinner and go to sleep.
have a nail with him this eve.
Okay, so you head over to the tavern, And it's, again, after the battle, it's a lot busier than it was beforehand. People are starting to not feel completely terrified at night. The thing you notice most is probably that Terry Adwin is not in this tavern.
She must have been
But
telling us the truth.
so there's a bunch of people at tables, mingling, drinking, having some food. So the innkeeper sees you walk in. It's like the kind of like the Prancing Pony, where like the entryway is the tavern, and then in the back and on other floors are bedrooms where people can stay the night.
Oh,
And
okay.
so the innkeeper is also the barkeeper, and so he sees you walk in. He says, "Hello, travelers. I'll be with you in just a moment. I need to go serve these guests, and I'll be right with you." So you have a moment before he returns to decide whether you want to get a full meal or just some drinks, sleeping arrangements.
Yes.
Well,
Let's all get a full meal.
That sounds great. A
Head out.
meal, a drink, a place to sleep. I like all of this.
I call top bunk.
All of the above. Top bunk. Well, I call bottom bunk.
So
very definitely.
there's like a sort of wooden post by the entryway where it's written on chalk like the current rates for meals and rooms and such. So a room is 5 silver per night.
Okay,
And
so
then
for a room.
meals are probably 5 copper, and a drink would be 1 copper. The ale flows freely in this tavern.
Almost like compared to the rooms.
Almost
Absolutely. Goodness, 5 silver per room.
Okay, so we are obviously haven't been staying here for the last couple of
So
nights.
we have no
Let's say-
town. We have no
So-
town hero of.
I'm thinking,
hero
whatever
of
happened to the
this
heroes of
town.
Trestlebridge?
I know, really.
Well, I mean, when the innkeeper comes back, if you want to try to leverage that, you're welcome to. Prior to this, you've been staying in sort of like Carve has probably been staying in like the workman's tents. May was probably staying in the,
I had a cot in the recovery area.
and then Pineleaf has probably been staying in the guard barracks. But like as work is progressing, as people are recovering, as the guards are getting back to work, it's
So
not a place
while
where you can
the
stay
innkeeper's
indefinitely.
gone, I want to ask Carve and actually everybody, is there a I mean, I have already proven that I'm not diplomatic because I irritated everybody last time about wanting a reward. So I'm not going to say anything, but is there a diplomatic way to like see if we can get like a hero discount with this guy for a room?
When they say 5 silver, that is.
I can try to negotiate.
Go for
Okay.
it.
Sounds good.
One moment. Okay. So the innkeeper comes back and says, "Well, how can I help you tonight? Are you here for a meal, drinks, boarding? What will it be?"
Ooh, that is
We're
pretty
here-
20.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it was something else, not related to this.
Oh, okay.
Question
We've
that I
been
asked
whispering.
Ray.
Yeah.
We are actually interested in a meal and some rooms for the evening, but I have to tell you we're a little bit light on funds because most of our efforts here in Trestlebridge have been spent towards the recovery of the town. A bunch of us were in battle not that long ago. Is there any way we could maybe get a discount or something, or just is there anything you can do about your prices?
I kind of pipe in and say, and May has been helping the poor children of this town that have been just impoverished with tons of funds, and here, she has this token proving that she has been donating so much time.
Oh yes, let me show you. Let me show you. Isn't that wonderful? Look at the gift I got. Doesn't it just set off my hairstyle?
So actually roll a persuade check. And Dane.
Hey, what check? Sorry, you broke up.
Persuade. Sorry.
Okay.
Jumped in.
So he looks at the sort of crown that May has, and it's just a bunch of branches and twigs that have been sort of put together. He says, "Yes, I see. It's a lovely token, but you must understand, everyone in town has been affected by the recent events. I don't know that I can provide a discount to everyone now, can I?"
Our friend almost died. Well, not our friend, but people's friends.
People's friends.
And now you need to stop talking.
Wonderful.
You know what? It's fine. How about
We
just
can-
a meal and we'll go find somewhere else so we can stay for the
That's a good
evening.
idea.
Did Ending did he really say our friend almost died, or are we taking that back?
No, he really,
really
did say
said
that.
No, he really said it.
Wait,
And I really said, Andang, you need to stop talking. That's totally in character.
You were friends with the one who fell and came back.
He was our. He was
That's
yes.
what I
He was
said.
our
one
boon
who
companion.
fell. That impetuous boy.
If I understand
The
correctly,
brave Arathert.
if I understand correctly, you have done more than simply help our town during the siege.
Well, we kind of spent the entire night defending it.
We sort of saved the town.
If you consider saving your innkeeperness worth anything, then yes, we did in fact. We are they who did this thing that you are referring to as friends of the he who went and came back.
Boy, talk about somebody else who needs to stop talking.
I'm rolling
so-
in the crowd on the giggles at this point.
Is everything
it's
okay
not
with your girl? Does
The Hobbit's fine. She just gets these fits of laughter. You can
what
see.
a lovely term of endearment.
Term of it.
I want to Carve. I guess you can go ahead and roll persuade check.
Carve rolls a persuade check. This will be funny.
Notice how he lets everybody
Okay.
have a persuade check, except the person actually trying to do persuasion.
You keep getting interrupted.
I know.
Exactly. I'm giving it to the people who are talking the loudest because that's who the innkeeper would be focusing on. But Carve does okay. So the innkeeper says, "Okay. Since you're new to town and you did help save the town, I guess would you be able to afford 1 silver for the room? And the food and drink will be on the house for tonight only, though."
I think we can manage that. What do you
You can
guys
do
think?
that. That'll work.
I think that's a real good deal.
Everybody pitch in 20 coppers and we'll be fine.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds like that would
Thank
be
you.
a good. Yes, thank you very much.
Lovely.
Very much appreciated.
There's a table open here. Go ahead and be seated, and I'll come around with a round of drinks and the soup of the day, which is the same soup that it is. He's muttering to
Every
himself
day.
as he walks by.
Soup of every day. Bowl of turnip stew with kale. My favorite. We've got some special mystery meat we added just the past couple days.
So
So I'm gonna sit by Maven and I'm gonna look at her and say, "You have to put up with these people. I'm so sorry."
They do make me laugh. And actually, they have saved me several times. This is not our first fight, so I've been learning a lot from them. So, but I'm glad to have you with us.
Well, see, I try and avoid the fights whenever possible.
There you
Yeah.
go.
If it's not possible, then I let Andang handle that.
That's good. Well, I'm pretty much in the same position. I have no business being in the middle of a fight for sure. I do my best to. I've learned that my healing skills are valuable to them, so I try to apply them when I can.
And
So,
I want to go over and have an ale with Carve.
so are you? So there is a table large enough for the five of you to sit together if you so want. Otherwise,
Okay, I want to
there's
sit next to Carve then.
there are open tables elsewhere. There's places at the bar. So
Index
you
being a
can.
fanboy. Are you being a fanboy?
Totally
I'll
being a
say let's
fanboy.
go ahead and have a let's have a round table discussion then, since we're all in it together. It seems by will of the mayor, the powers that be, the whatever it be.
Okay. So you're all
Okay.
sitting together then.
So what do you want to say, Carve?
So tell me, Andang.
While you're talking, the innkeeper just sort of comes and silently brings you your food and drink.
Oh, great.
Yes, Carve?
This ought to be good.
Oh, man.
How do you prefer to start battle?
Well, I start with one blade and end with the other.
See, I told you it'd be good.
Another one.
Another one.
Oh,
Oh.
May your blades shing, and your head not ring from the organ bling.
this.
What do you think, Pine Leaf?
I think this group is as mad as
As the previous, as before?
Yes.
So your name is Pineleaf, and I hear tell that you come from Staddle.
Yes.
Well, I passed through Breetown on my way, up here a couple of times. Interesting folk, the Staddle hobbits.
Is that good, interesting, or not good?
Well,
Interesting?
yeah, they're interesting people to spend time with. They've interesting stories, and of course they cultivate pipeweed, which everybody should take the art up of.
Good weed.
Yes,
Is
it's especially interesting, Sarissa, to watch in their holes at night, isn't it? When we're spying around. I mean, adventuring.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, right.
Looks like you have a real handful there, Sarissa.
Yeah.
And then some.
And then some, yes.
So, actually, Pine Leaf, do you use tobacco? I've never tried it
Occasionally.
myself.
Tobacco. What is this tobacco you refer of?
It's pipeweed.
Pipeweed. Sorry,
Pipeweed. I have
pipeweed.
never heard it called tobacco. Is that some kind of word?
Oh, I think I got it out of a book somewhere.
Probably an Elvish word.
Oh,
Yeah.
Elvish,
Yeah.
yes.
Cinderin.
Must be that new Elvish. I hear it's all the rage in the Grey Havens.
Well, now he's just being.
What, the new Elvish? Or
Now he's
me?
just being mean.
You're talking about a dwarf being surly? What?
Are you
So
being
tell me-
sarcastic? No.
Sarissa. Young
Yes.
minstrelly Sarissa. What schools of music have you trained in?
Well, I haven't formally trained in any schools. As I said, my grandfather was a wandering performer, so I've picked up bits and pieces here and there. I'm mostly learning as I go. I have kind of an ear for music.
So would you say that you're more effective at demoralizing your foes or encouraging your fellows?
I prefer not to have any foes.
You're in
But-
the wrong business, sweetheart. This is Middle-earth, and there are evil things afoot. There will be foes. Unless you're one of those folks that can talk her way out of confrontations.
In most cases, The one or two times that's not been available, I can generally point to Andang having helped me out of the situation. Helped.
Well, if your words don't work, I'm sure his bravado will.
Actually, the sword.
Aye.
The sword.
Just in case the words don't work and Andang is, shall we say, occupied with his own troubles, do you carry any sort of weaponry aside from a flute?
I don't. I don't carry a weapon.
Brave lass, or foolhardy. We shall see.
I'm really good at getting out of situations. Generally, well, I'm better at not getting in them to begin with.
Slippery. I see. Very well then.
Well, you know, the wandering tale teller, I'm sure May can attest to, doesn't generally run into danger when they're traveling on their own.
This is true.
Usually other people who get them in trouble.
Indeed,
Everybody
I have
likes
encountered
a
this.
story. Everybody likes a story. Everybody likes a song. Most
And a
people like
song.
a song.
Right.
It's one's companions who are more likely to get one in danger than oneself.
Testify.
So I'm just a little bit drunk right now, and I look over to Pineleaf and I say, "Has anyone ever told you that you look great in a body bag?"
Has Terry been talking to you two?
He's a little drunk.
I give Andang a glare that should freeze blood.
Oh man.
Harvat pulls his shawl up in
I say an aside to Sarissa,
mocking Andang's glare.
your friend is not very diplomatic, is he?
No, he's really not. He needs to stop talking. If I could find a way to get him to stop talking when I want him to stop talking, that would be awesome. That would be the best thing ever. It's not happened yet, but that should really be my quest. That should be my quest.
Your quest.
To find a way to get Andang to stop talking when I really want him to stop talking, yes.
I believe that the appropriately shaped wedge of wood applied to the face would probably help with that.
Wow.
Well, if we're talking about body bags, I mean, hey. Body bag, gag, tied, tarred, feathered. It's all in the same stocks, it's all in the same family.
I think it's best you stop talking, friend.
I'm not the one who's had too much to drink. He can't hold his liquor, mister, talking to the Hobbit like she's some kind of body bag.
It was a compliment.
Or we can have a fight on our hands.
At which point I turn to May and Pineleaf and I say, I can see that I'm not the only one who has companions who really need to stop talking.
Yes.
Yeah. And
He's a heck of an explorer, though. He's really guided us well. So he has,
Yeah. If you
He has
think this is
experiences.
bad, you should see some of the ones that have left.
I know, there's the truth. The Hobbit speaks the truth. I cannot tell you how many times I've, shall we say, laboriously carried out our last champion who had a lightweight tale for the ale, or bailed out the...
And he when he says carried out, he means literally carried out.
Literally slung her over my back and dragged her out of the bar.
Don't worry, I've never been that drunk.
We wouldn't be able to carry you anyway, so it's a good thing.
Indeed, Elf.
You're quite a muscular fellow.
Indeed.
This elf has a name. Her name is May. The hobbit's name is Pineleaf, and the dwarf is Carve.
Oh.
Carvet,
Hi.
if you please.
We were
Carvet
introduced.
Loudspeaker.
We really were. I know you weren't paying attention, but we actually were introduced.
So, what are we
So-
going to do? So maybe we should talk about what we're going to do tomorrow.
Yes, let's. Because if there is, in fact, another situation brewing in the outskirts of Trestlebridge, we are going to have to carefully assess the situation so that we don't cause yet another ruckus that ends up with somebody mostly or nearly completely dead.
So
Indeed.
probably Pineleaf and I should go ahead, since she seems like somebody who would be versed in actually capably sneakily assessing a situation.
That's a good idea. I mean, you know the area up there. We never actually went
And I've
that
been up
far
that way,
north.
so I actually already know where I'm going.
All right,
Right.
that sounds like a plan. We can head up first light, check it out.
Indeed.
Quietly.
Quietly.
Very quietly, yes. We do not want to start anything we're not ready for.
Good.
Again.
Do the people with the heavy
Which
armor
is
stay
why
away?
Pineleaf and I should go ahead, and we'll work out some sort of
So we-
signal that
Okay.
we can use to bring you in if things go south.
Okay, so you'll go ahead. So we should
We'll
probably all
up
go.
in that-
We'll
yeah,
all
we'll
go.
all go up in that
Yeah.
direction, but
Okay.
everybody else can stay
And then
outside
we'll
while
wait
we go.
someplace. Okay.
So Sarissa will give a little whistle on her lute.
On my flute.
Thank
That's
Whistle a happy tune. Oh, sorry.
Just don't ask me to whistle while I work. I hate that. I hate that with a passion.
And you don't hi-ho when you go to work?
How dare you say such a thing?
Even I know not to say that.
Hoes are for gardening, not for going to work. In the mines. In the mines. I do like the shine of diamonds, though.
Alright, so you're ready. Is there anything else you'd like to say to each other?
I think we
Or
I-
are
I'd
you just
like to-
continuing to put together a strategy?
I'd
Yeah.
like to apologize to Pineleaf.
5 minutes later when you've sobered up.
I'm sorry, Pineleaf, if
Don't start crying. Oh my God, is he going to start crying?
if you
no.
took what I said the wrong way.
Oh no.
I really am sorry.
Don't you just hate it when you say someone would look good in a body bag and they take it the wrong way? So, when you finally go to your room, things die down in the tavern. Innkeeper and some of the help are mopping up the tables. How drunk / sober is everyone? Did you keep the drinks coming?
Oh, ale, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Of course, all these lightweights can get tankard after 1 or 2 ales. I'm okay with 3 or 4, but you know what have you.
I'm relatively sober.
Okay.
Yeah, and I certainly don't have more than one would have with a normal meal when expecting to go back to duty.
Right.
Indeed.
All right. So you get to your room for the night, and there's like one large bed, and it's otherwise there's like a chair in a corner, and it's otherwise unfurnished.
I don't need a bed. I can sleep standing up. Like a Borg. Sorry. Wrong role play.
Borg.
A big warg.
Borg, I said. But that's okay.
Are we all in the same room? Or we got 2
Yep.
rooms?
I mean,
Oh,
did you?
We're all in the same room, and we have a single big bed
And a
There's
chair.
1 bed and a chair.
and a chair.
It's a chair.
Like, it's a room that's designed for like a couple to spend the night in, so it's like a 2-person bed.
I call dibs on the chair.
Are there a lot of pillows to put between people?
There's probably like 4 pillows, maybe.
Okay, that's enough for a
Like
pillow wall.
the 2.
I need to go say goodbye to the children, and also I need to go just check on the people that are convalescing. So I may end up spending most of the night there, and I'll be back in the morning.
Okay.
And she's an elf, so she doesn't have to sleep very much, so.
Right.
There you go. I still call dibs on the chair.
So, what? Anding and Pineleaf are sharing the bed.
With a
Or-
pillow wall, yes.
I missed that.
Sarissa didn't say. Sarissa actually is not going to say. She's just going to tell
I have a
everybody-
feeling Ending is going to accidentally use me as a pillow.
Why do you think I call dibs on the chair?
I did not say anything anywhere near that, finally. Look, okay, I'll sleep on the floor.
Awkward.
Okay.
No, the bed is too big for me anyway. What else did you say was on there again? You said
Nothing.
there was
No, there's a chair, there's a bed, and
a
there's the
chair
floor.
and chair, bed, and floor. That
Mhm.
is a very minimalist room, I have to say.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think he was
go.
going to give you a premium room when he gave you a
No,
discount.
yeah,
did
that's
he?
true.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna go renegotiate with the innkeeper.
Really? Okay.
For a
Yeah,
cot,
really.
you're gonna try and get a
Yeah,
cot.
really, like by myself. So I'm not telling anybody where I'm going.
Okay, how many?
It might
So,
actually
so
not
you,
go
you,
that
you leave
way.
everyone arguing upstairs
Okay.
about
Yes.
the
Yes.
floor and
How
whether my
many-
leaf could be used as a pillow.
Okay,
Yes.
my question is, speaking of pillows, how many pillows are there? Just one? Or
Four.
no, two?
We said
What?
there's four. Four pillows.
Four.
Four pillows.
It's like the
I'll
two
just take.
double
Look,
pillows.
if this is a pillow built for big folk, I could just grab one of the pillows, throw it on the floor, and sleep on that.
There you go.
Would work.
Yeah.
That's right. There we go. We're set. We're
So
good.
I get the bed to myself. That's fine.
Yeah, not bad.
So is Sarissa still going to try to renegotiate?
I
For
Yeah,
think.
I'm
the room?
renegotiating so that I can get my own room.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Do the others? Do you notice that she's missing? Or
No, we're all pretty tired.
I
I'm
watched
gone,
him sneak
so-
out.
She's,
okay.
she's
I
probably.
didn't sneak. There was no sneaking involved. I just said I
I
needed to go
watched her
get
leave the
something.
room,
You're
and I'm like,
naturally
I don't
stealthy.
blame her. I don't
It's
blame her.
built in.
So, Sarissa, you go downstairs. The innkeeper's the only one there. He's getting ready to close up and go to bed on his little cot behind his counter.
Right.
So,
Actually,
is-
before going down the stairs, I'm going to take a quick perusal of the room situation and see if there are, in fact, other unoccupied rooms
okay.
available.
Go ahead and give me a fate check. See how lucky you are.
Because I can't imagine.
There'd be that many people.
Ooh, it's booked full.
Okay. In that case, I am going to go sleep where I've been sleeping throughout this entire time, which I have no idea where that was. But yeah, I'm going to go bed down there.
Okay. So, May, while everyone's sleeping, you go out and about. You probably visit the hospital area first to check on
Right.
patients because the children are sleeping, and then you probably
Right.
swing by them in like the early morning as they're
Right.
waking up.
Right.
Are you like telling them another story, or one before you say one thing you should know is that there's noticeably fewer children here since more of them are sleeping back with their parents now that the immediate threat is
Right,
over. They haven't
right.
all been gathered.
No,
So
I
the
actually
people-
don't. I have to let them know that I can't. We're leaving at first light, and they'd have to get up at, in the dark to hear a story. So I'm not going to put them through that. So
I see.
I just say goodbye to them, and there's just a few of them, so I say goodbye to them one at a time, and
Okay.
say goodbye.
So probably like the younger ones are like they're sort of they understand you're saying goodbye, but they
Yeah, they don't
understand
understand.
that you're like leaving town, so they sort of just
But
like
the
give you
older
a normal
ones-
goodbye.
And
Yeah,
the older
so-
ones I tell, so they can be sure to explain it when the younger ones are actually awake and want to know what happened. So they don't think they just dreamt it.
Okay.
What a pretty elf, let it go. She has pretty songs. I want a May song, Mama.
Did you see her ears? They were so pointy.
They were like pointing to the heavens. It was so beautiful.
Okay, so everyone is awake now. Is anyone sleeping in or trying to?
Nope.
What?
Up and ready to go.
Up first light.
All
I
right.
slept great, so I'm good to go.
So, okay, so there's not many people that are awake. As you go downstairs, the innkeeper's snoring away on his cot behind the counter.
Oh, no, he's not.
We may not know he's
Yeah,
not.
Yeah, what do
No,
what are
I
you doing?
had him up when I came back to the inn before reconvening with everybody.
You woke up the innkeeper.
Wait, so where did you
Yes, I
spend the
did.
night? Where did you spend the night then, if not in the room?
I said I spent the night where I've been sleeping the past couple days that I've been in town, which I don't know where that is.
Oh, the mayor's house?
Was it the mayor's house?
Yeah.
Sure.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Okay, then, so the innkeeper's not snoring behind his cot. Sarissa evidently has woken him already. So he's probably sort of like a...
Making us breakfast.
Making us breakfast.
Okay.
Sharissa's got a way about her. So
Yes.
she's on her own.
I come bearing a token from the mayor's house, and I'm here with his dispensation. and we're going to go on a mission for the town to go investigate something to keep it from being attacked in future. So if you could, find it in your heart to make sure we're fed before we go, that would be greatly appreciated. Look, see token.
I know. You told me already when you woke me up. The sausage is cooking in the back. The eggs are on the pin. Go sit down. I'll get it to you. So he serves you your breakfast. Like he's kind of grumpy. He's sort of giving you like Sarissa in particular, like a baleful glare because she woke him up. And he leaves you to eat. Is anything special happening? Or are you just eating breakfast, small talk?
I'm not a
Eating
morning
breakfast,
person.
small
I'm not
talk.
a morning elf.
I've
Glad
changed
I
my
spent
shirt.
yesterday. Glad I spent yesterday gathering supplies. I
Different
knew we were
shirt,
going to be
different
heading back
gloves, a
out.
little bit darker colors. Accessorizing.
Shaking the dust from the quick sound of my shoulders. I'm sleeping on the chair.
Alright, so as you leave the tavern, like a few people are starting to wake up. You can sort of smell other breakfasts cooking from other buildings. You don't really run into anyone in the streets. Are you just heading north via the bridge?
Yeah.
Makes sense
All
to
right.
me.
So as you leave the bridge, you see the palisade at the north is almost completed. It's missing a gate, but the walls and the barricades themselves seem strong enough, albeit made of wood. As you continue going north from town, you feel like a chill wind blowing over the grass, and
Wow.
off in one direction you see the canyons and hills where the encampment was, and in the other direction, not other direction, but sort of like on the left, if there was a road, you see there's like withered trees, a forest in the distance. What's your plan of action?
Well, the purpose of this exercise patrol is to investigate to see if there is a resurgence of orc activity. So I suppose
Well,
we
so
let
Terry
our
and Pineleaf are going to go first. Right?
scouts head out. Yeah.
Now, is this going to be our break point for the day? It's
So who's exploring? I'm trying to lead to a cliffhanger.
oh, okay.
Ah,
all right.
Well, Pineleaf and I are going ahead.
There.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sarissa, I assume then you're going to go back to where, quote unquote, specifically are you thinking of when you say I'll go back to the encampment? Like the closest point from the camp to the town, or are you trying to navigate through the encampment to like the center of the operations?
First, you need to.
First, we need to figure out if we actually can see smoke and ascertain where that might be coming from.
Oh, I see. There's wispy
It's supposed
smoke,
to be finding smoke.
so you're just gonna follow the smoke.
Yeah.
There is smoke, so you're gonna follow the smoke.
Sounds
Okay.
like a good place
Yeah,
to
we're
start.
going to navigate sort of in that general direction.
Yep, you took the words out of my mouth. Go ahead and roll a navigation check, Sarissa.
It's not rolling. Why is it not rolling? Oh, that's why.
It's button to the right.
Okay. Okay, so you start heading off in the direction of the smoke. You sort of, you go over a hill and you're sort of descending into a valley between tall cliffs. There's a little, like, rickety wooden bridge going across to what looks to be like a little island sitting sort of by itself. It's not an actual island, but there's like a deep valley on one side and a sort of river going by the other. And there's ruined stone walls sort of encircling this island. Do you continue going across the bridge? The smoke is coming from somewhere in that direction.
Does it look as if there's, I mean, can we hear any sounds as to whether there's activity going on? Like there might be orcs there?
Give me a wits check. Pine Leaf, if you want to listen to, you can check, and I'll take the higher of your two rolls.
Okay, for which you said?
Yes.
Alright.
Okay. It doesn't look like anyone's used this bridge in a while. There's no like fresh tracks on the other side or anything.
Alright. So it hasn't been used recently then.
Right.
But it looks sound enough to cross?
It looks like it'll hold you.
Okay.
I would hope.
Yeah.
You weigh a lot
Okay,
less
so
than
it's-
an orc does.
So if you continue going, are you scouting and the others are sort of waiting
We're
outside?
waiting.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're waiting outside. We worked out that I would play a sequence of notes on the flute,
Okay.
which really only May is likely to recognize as being that specific sequence. But, any
Right.
noise on the flute they will probably understand as this
Right.
signal.
Sure.
That sure is
Okay,
a
so as
strange
you-
bird.
As you
Sounds kinda
proceed
like-
across the bridge, make it to those.
Sorry.
He has his own show.
Apparently.
These are not the notes you were looking for. Move along.
I was wondering if we were going to get a reference to that.
As you move across the bridge, you're going towards the smoke. You start to smell like meat cooking, and you start to hear like a little bit of clattering and like
Oh, dear.
sizzling. People talking in low voices. Do you press on? You still can't see the location of the smoke just because of the way the hills are shaped, and there's still like broken walls around you.
Is there anything we recognize
In their speech.
in the cadence of the voices?
Give me a wits check. Or actually, do you have any language skills?
Yeah, I can talk like this.
No.
Or I can talk like this.
On your character sheet, do you have any language?
No.
I'm not there. I don't know.
Okay. So just give me either a lore people, if you have it, or a wits check.
Oh, that one I do have.
Oh,
You have
more
more
people
people?
I've got at least, yeah.
Okay.
Or both of you do. Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
They are definitely human voices, not orcs.
Oh, well. Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay.
At this distance, with the echo, you can't make out what it is they're saying, but it sounds like a human talking. Actually, I should say human. It sounds like it's not an orc. It sounds like someone who speaks common.
Sounds like common.
Or what is Westron? Is common?
Yeah.
Westron. Yeah.
Westron.
Common's
Common
D&D.
tongue.
Okay.
Hobbit would probably just
Definitely
Yeah.
should definitely should be something that we look into, but I don't know that we necessarily need to have this great armed response. Pineleaf, if you want to maybe go back for the rest of the party, and I will sneak it. I will stealthily go ahead and see if I can get closer, since
All
that
right.
is my
Very well.
specialty.
I shall get them
And I'm
right
totally going to use sneaky.
away. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is my
Sneaky Sneaky is one of
sneaky
the
ability.
burglar skills we have. So
Yeah.
go ahead and roll 2d6.
Well, it's 2d6 plus agility.
Plus agility, sorry.
I figured I'd just roll agility.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing, right?
Mhm. Actually, because... Wait, did you... Oh, never mind. That wasn't a critical. Otherwise, I'd give you a +1. But just roll plus agility.
Oops.
Okay. Okay, so she rolled a 6, according to the rules. She or another party member is noticed before she can reach her destination.
Uh-oh.
But she can take +1 to the first roll that she needs to act on the consequences. So you sort of, so you're by yourself, right? Because Pineleaf is going to bring the others.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you signal, or did you just send Pineleaf back?
I think
Just
Pineleaf
sent
being
Pineleaf
sent
back.
was the signal.
Okay.
Yeah. Pineleaf is going back.
Pineleaf is the signal.
Pineleaf
Okay.
is the signal.
That's like setting up a Hobbit flare.
Sarissa, we see her, she's going full, like, jackal mode. She's trying to keep low to the ground. She's keeping close to cover, sort of hugging the walls, trying to slip around, goes down the hill, and she sees, in, like, a small clearing, kind of surrounded by the walls, but not enclosed. There's a campfire, and there's 4 people, humans, just sort of sitting around having breakfast, and they're speaking a language she doesn't understand. She's hearing things like "Famovata Foloimin Lomalanis," and she probably goes closer to sort of figure out, are they friend or foe, and at that moment,
They
her
look like they're
foot-
wearing somebody else's pants.
Um,
We can tell if they were friend or foe. Sorry,
they're-
Gray.
If they're wearing someone else's
Their
pants, by
outfits
coincidence,
match.
it is
If
well
they've got
coordinated.
matching outfits,
I
then they're
messed up your
probably from
cadence
some
there,
kind of
sorry.
organized unit.
Poor Gray's like, oh my god, this group is just like, forget it.
Just when you thought it was a serious RP campaign. Ha ha ha!
This isn't who said that I have a serious encounter plan.
Yeah, really.
I do. As she's sneaking down the hill to get a closer look, a closer hearing what's going on, her foot just kicks some gravel down, and
Oh,
immediately they put down like their travel tins that have their food on them, and so they're reaching for their weapons, and they're shouting.
Brew Kazad. No.
That's what I
No,
heard.
they're too tall for that.
Yeah.
Then time of Thor, they shout, and they spot Sarissa, and I think that's where we just cut to black. And we'll pick up next
Oh
session.
my gosh.
He said he was building up to a cliffhanger. He warned us.
Boy, no kidding.
I didn't know what the cliffhanger would be. I'm glad that Sarissa rolled a 6.
I'm glad I could accommodate you, Gray. I'm glad me and my dice could accommodate you.
Yeah.
You and your great RNG luck, right?
Yeah.
Handy.
I
All
mean,
right.
she rolled well to determine that it was not orcs. So
Yeah, not orcs.
That's true. Although that doesn't necessarily mean we're out of danger, but okay.
If we want to be out of danger, we've got to be closer to harm.
Oh my god.
And on that note, I think that will be the end of this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much, chat room. It has been very lively this whole time. And so we will see you guys again in 2 weeks for what happens next with the party as we find out what is going on at this camp. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you again real soon for another episode of Tales of
Bye.
Folk.